Welcome! It's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, which is great only because it's not Monday. So we are all prepared for the weekend, which is really far away to be honest. But regardless of that, we've survived Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday, everyone tends to be full of energy. So I suggest we check out today's challenge. And today's challenge is quite challenging because all we have is an empty paper and, well, I guess, an image from a place called Városliget. I mean, in English, you could call it the city park, but it's nothing but a loose translation of the word. Város indeed means city, and liget means an artificial park or with trees of some sort. If you want to visit it, once you arrive to Budapest, you can go out from the center using one of the metro lines out of the four. If you happen to be in the very center of Budapest, which is probably Deák Ferenc tér, here in the middle, where all the metro lines converge, then all you have to do is take the yellow line and get off at probably Hősök tere. So the question is, how would we explain to someone, assuming that we live in Budapest and that person is looking for the city park, probably this castle, which is called the Vajdahunyadvára, how to get there? Well, we can always suggest them to use Google Maps or something like that, but let's try to create a short story of how to get to the city park from Deák tér. It's always very hard to write from scratch, because all you have is a piece of empty paper, and that's never a good thing. However, with enough will and persistence, we can succeed. So the idea is to write how to get to that place from Deák tér, which is very easy, because you have to say from Deák tér, you get to the city park by using the yellow line, and you get off at Hősök tere. Easy enough, so let's try to do it. The first thing that we have to write down is this bit. This is the name of the place. Now we have to say from that place, and I will just refer back to the cube because it's very simple to use it. So I'd say not Bólböl, because this is not a place, we are not coming from the inside, but we are coming from it. The square itself doesn't have volume, so all we have to do is say from that töl. I mean, this is a front vowel word, so that makes the usage of töl logical as opposed to toll. How is it possible to say take that metro line? Well, there is no obvious translation to Hungarian, but we might be able to say use, which we need the verb form, so that would be használ. Of course, that is not enough. We definitely need verbics to figure out how to say use that in definite. But also, it has to be imperative and second person. So there we go. It's imperative, it's second person, meaning you should use it, or you, well, just use it in English. And there we go. I mean, I know it's easy for me, but that would be the process when you start from scratch. At least one of the many ways of doing this. Then of course, because it's definite, we have to use the definite article, the something, and we have to figure out how to say the yellow line. Well, line is non-existent in Hungarian like that, so we can just say the yellow metro. That would make sense. But how to say yellow? So there we go. But because this is an object that you are using, you need a T. It's unavoidable. Then we have to connect the second sentence, because this is done, and we have to use and, which is és. You might be aware of it already. And then the second part will simply be get off at some station, which would be the Hősök tere. But before we go on and figure out what's takeoff. We definitely know that we need the Hősök in there, but how to say something similar to this? This is a square, this is also a square, even though it's written archaically, and also it's a possessive. What we need is the cube again. How to say at that station? Well, it's definitely not on Ben because we're not inside and we are not moving, so it's not one of the arrows, but nal or nil, because that means at that theoretical object of some sort. So that would be nil. But of course, even Google thinks that this is weird and we need to change this to a because of connecting vowels. It sounds better. So at that place, which is the hero square, admittedly, we need to take or get off. Let's see. Dismount or get off or something like that. Take off, get down. You know what? I'm gonna say that this one would be the best. However, as you can see, it does have a prefix. If you remember the Hungarian prefixes, one of them is be, the other is ki, le, fel, meg, át, el, rá, ide, oda, szét, össze, vissza. And I know I make it look easy because my brain recognized this, because this makes, I mean, this word makes sense to me. Fly, well, we use it to get off things for some reason, and I know that there is nothing like lesal on its own, and because I'm aware of the existence of this prefix, all I have to do is try to conjugate this verb on its own. Now, is there an object here? No, nothing in particular. It's just gonna be imperative and second person, and indefinite because there is nothing in particular. There you go. But because I'm aware of this prefix and I know that in imperative we tend to detach it and put it after the verb, it's a thing in Hungarian, it's a rule that you can remember. Because of this, and this makes more sense and it looks better to Hungarian, that's what we can use. So there we have it. It's a very, very simple story. I know that I ignored most of the crazy things you might end up saying because I didn't describe how to use it or what you need or what to do once you got off. I just assumed that you are a Hungarian just like me, and I just told you that from this place, use the yellow line and get off at this station. And that's it. And this is the end of our short story. It's very short, it's very story-like because it does describe some sort of series of events. It's imperative, and we learned one important rule, that when it comes to imperatives, you're supposed to detach the prefix, one of those couple of prefixes that you have to recognize. And sometimes some words start with le or el or something like that. It happens, but first of all, it's not that often. Second of all, you have to keep trying and you will recognize the pattern at some point. I promise you. Maybe it will take you 100 years. Well, probably not though. Anyways, so with that point, I'm just gonna end it here. Have a happy Wednesday or whenever you watch this, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.